Ever twisted your ankle on a football pitch and thought, that's it, I'm done for the season? You're definitely not alone because football injuries are painfully common. But today, and in this video, I'm showing you how players like Messi and Ronaldo just seem to glide through a season after season with no scratches and no injuries, and on top of that, how to deal with it. So stick with me to the end. And just in case you're wondering why I'm wearing this shirt, so this is Al Ali and they're gonna play in the next FIFA Club World Cup. And that's why the reason of this episode. So they're gonna play the starting episode match against Inter Miami, so don't miss it. So let's get back to the video. Whether you play a five-a-side or dream of the World Cup, as all of us as kids already did that, football comes with a risk. So today, I'm Dr. Shadi and I'm breaking down the most common injuries, how your body reacts, and the exact strategies to bounce back like a pro. So stick around. And now for the part that everyone doesn't really like, let's talk about the usual suspects. The top 5 injuries every player should know. And now for number 1, the one that's usually one of the common ones, ankle sprains. And who else as a player we know misses most of the season with an ankle sprain that sometimes could be severe? Mr. Neymar Jr. That classic twist that makes you hobble for days is usually from awkward landings or tackles with hard surfaces on the floor that attach to your leg, making it twisting in an awkward position. And now for number 2, one of the common ones that you see a lot of high-profile players having them, it's the hamstring strains. These ones usually require high explosive energies that you can get during sprinting. What you hear is usually you feel a sudden pop, sometimes a pull, and boom, that's a hammy strain. You've seen players like common ones like Bukayo Saka, David Beckham having such injuries. The issue with these injuries is that sometimes they start from like a mild to moderate to even a complete tear, which varies in the time that you're going to miss being on a football pitch, and it requires different kind of exercises to heal, but it's one of the common injuries that you might see. And now for the third one, and probably the most brutal out of them all, it's an ACL tear. This is usually the nightmare for every professional and any player, football or any other sport. The issue with that is that you land wrong or pivot too fast and you suddenly hear a pop, and that's it for you. Sometimes you need surgery, or even most of the times you need surgery. Rarely you see people managing it conservatively. Some of the common players or some of the famous players we've seen having these injuries, Alan Shearer in 1992, and most recently also Rodri from Manchester City, caused him to miss the whole season, and it affected both him and his club. You've seen Man City went down a tight road and didn't really win anything, as well as Rodri himself missed most of the season. So these injuries are quite career changing, I would say, and they're quick to happen. And at number 4, we've got one of the nasty ones, groin injuries or pulls. These ones you usually get or you see in players that are having explosive, powerful kicks, sudden stretches like from slide tackles. What happens with it is that the inner muscles in the groin starts to get pulled and your inner thigh starts to feel like it's on fire. One of the common ones, or even two of the famous players that we've seen, is got Steven Gerrard. Happened to him before the World Cup, which affected his performance in the World Cup. And another one is Scott McTominay, who started to have this issue of having groin injuries that was treated multiple times. But the issue with groin injuries is that sometimes they recur and sometimes it reaches the point where a surgery is needed. And let's be honest, you never come back to 100% of your performance. This is one of the issues of groin pulls. And now for number 5, it's not really that common, but usually presents itself as a warning sign rather than anything else. It's called shin splints, sometimes stress fractures. These two can present themselves from overtraining or even poor footwear. Some of the common players you've seen having these injuries are Marcus Rashford, Jack Wilshere, or even Yao Ming, who was forced to retire because of a navicular, so it's a stress fracture in one of the small bones in the leg, caused him to retire. So as you can see, these ones could range from being mild and a warning sign to inform you that sometimes you're overtraining or you're not really wearing the appropriate equipment. On the other hand, could be like a blowout injury that could be affecting you completely. Okay, now we've seen the injuries and what type of injuries and who are the famous players that have seen these injuries and how to cause these injuries. Now let's talk about what happens inside your body actually. What's actually going on when you get this injury? So for example, when you sprain your ankle, you're tearing the ligaments that holds your bones together. So your body rushes blood to protect this area, and this is something that we call swelling. Yeah, swelling, we consider it something as a bad thing, but in real life, it's not random. It's your body's natural cast before you put something on the outside. It's the way protection starts to appear. And after this cast is formed, your brain starts to come into the game. It starts rerouting your movement. So you start to limp, you shift your weight on the other side, and suddenly your knee, your back, and your other leg are completely doing more work. That's when secondary injuries start to happen and appear. And now to answer your question about why Messi and Ronaldo and other famous players are gliding through the season after season with no injuries. They follow this simple routine, and it starts with police, literally police. So let's take it letter by letter. So P is usually to protect. So try to protect the area that caused the injury. This area that's affected, avoid it from like those random hits and misses if you're walking, tripping over. So watch out for the protected or the leg that's injured or any part that's usually injured. For O, it's optimal loading. Yes, movement matters in this part, and it's not really the movement where you overdo it and you just weight bear on it completely and overworking yourself. No, it's just movement, measured movement, usually under the advice of a physiotherapist, someone who's like knows more information about this. The L is usually, think of it like L and an I, so ice. Try to put some ice on it to reduce the swelling as well as numb the area, numbs the pain. So avoid you using more painkillers. And it also helps in regeneration of the ligaments or even the muscles that's affected. For the C, it's compression. So compress the area, bandages, band-aids sometimes, and usually those compression stockings that's usually advised by some physiotherapists in certain injuries also help. And for the E, elevate. Elevate the affected area, helps in reducing the swelling, helps in regeneration, and for the flow of blood, especially in the legs. So after starting with police, now for the second part, or even for the next 72 hours, I want you to avoid harm, and literally HARM. So let's take the H. H is for heat. Avoid putting heat on the area or providing the area with like more heat, because this is going to affect regeneration rather than help. So we advise usually putting ice on it rather than using heat. Second part is alcohol. Alcohol can affect your body from the inside, affecting the muscle regeneration, the ability of you to recover faster, and even cause you to become intoxicated if taking high levels. And in that case, there's a risk of falls, risk of hitting the area, risk of weight bearing abnormally on the affected area, so which can cause secondary injuries, or on top of that causes the primary injury to exacerbate. For the third one is running. So optimal weight management, we said, is quite crucial in this case. So we said to avoid rest, but to reach a level where you're running with an injury of that sort would exacerbate the injury. So optimal management, optimal minimal exercises under supervision, but avoid running. And for the last one from the heart, it's M, and it's massage. It's quite the contrary for most people. They think usually massage is going to help, but to be honest, it could affect the fiber regeneration, ligament regeneration. So actually it slows down helping you heal rather than making you heal faster. So avoid massaging the area. And when you get an injury or you see someone getting an injury, you get two types of people. The first one who comes to you and is like, just walk it off, bro. Pain builds character. That's one way. The other way is you see the other person following appropriate regime, appropriate management style for his injury, taking some time off actually, rather than the other guy who walks it off. But over the long term, you see this guy coming in with less injuries rather than more injuries. And in that case, usually pain that you get builds compensation patterns, and those usually in those people who walk it off build worse injuries over time rather than helping regenerating. And now for the biggest mistakes that slow down healing and affect you coming back to a pitch sooner. Number one, wrapping injuries too tight. It's not about wrapping it too tight. You're going to feel better, but the pain level goes down. But in that case, you're affecting the healing in the area, so watch out. Skipping rehab. Number two, it's quite an underestimated part by usually most of the people, but rehab is quite important. It's quite crucial for injuries. Using heat on fresh swelling, as we said before. Put ice, not heat. Fourth one, drinking those post-match beers. I appreciate you celebrating, but avoid alcohol, avoid beers. It's not going to help you at all. And for the fifth one, jumping back into a game too soon. Take your time off. If you get an injury, it needs its time to heal in order to come back, perform well, and reach that World Cup that you wanted to. And remember something, most people don't get injured. They get re-injured from not recovering right the first time. So watch out for that part. So if you like this video, if you've ever been injured on a pitch, comment a ball down in the comments if you're healing right now. And don't forget to subscribe for more athlete health tips, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok for daily wellness drops, fitness hacks, and behind the scenes recovery stories.